Got it, C227, yay! Okay, this one's going to be another odd size, but it's not going to be so odd that we're going to end up enlarging it or whatever. It's going to be just put in the centre from my experience. It's just a little bit smaller than A4, or considerably. Okay, not touching the enlargement, so we're going here as usual. We set it up so A4 is the right size. Okay. Right, I wonder what are we doing here? What have we done? We fucked something. Silly, this is a bit, rolls around a bit too much. So it's rolled around worst in the past. Now I wonder what background colour I'm going to give it. I'm just looking at it. So, what colour will it be? Again, it's going to be red. Red is a very good colour to work with. And again, I'm not pushing the buttons properly. Okay. Alright, what hue are we going to give it? We're going to cool it. It's going to be cold. It's going to be a cold hue for a change. We've done a couple of these. But yeah, it's nice to have a cold hue for a change instead of the hot. Right, even the black's going up. We've been doing more of the upping the black lately. Anyway, let's see how this goes. Right, up we go. We got here a Coles, and yeah, happy Easter. Easter was not so long ago. It was just over 2 weeks ago, I think, if I remember correctly. So it's the width. It's a bit wider than an A4, and it's a lot shorter than an A4. So we're just going to place it in the middle. We're not going to bother worrying about that little bit of overlap. We don't want to get too fussed. This is not perfection. After all, the photocopier industry is far from perfect. Why do we have to make it something more perfect than a shitbox? Oh, but shitbox isn't what I call one of these, although you could call it one. It's those little dicky little printers that you buy from Officeworks or Harvey Norman, anywhere. Those little cheap and nasty printers. They're what I call shit boxes, like Canon Pixmas. I hate them fuckers. I'd rather one of these, even though this is not going to last any more than 5 years, spare parts wise. So basically, when the spare parts run out, that's when your photocopier pretty much, if it breaks down, becomes useless. You can of course get spare parts often cannibalised off other machines of the same make and model, but there comes a time when it becomes near impossible to source any more spare parts, and the machine is basically rendered, as they call it, obsolete. So built-in obsolescence of a typical KM device is 5 years, I've been told. So basically 5 years, and it's no good. You know, if it breaks. If it breaks and you can't get the spare parts for it, it's tough. And you wouldn't want to have it in service for any more than 5 years, because the dealerships can say, right, the service agreement is now voided because we cannot guarantee spare parts. So you end up paying, if you wanted to go ahead, you wanted to pay the technician $160 just to walk in the front door, and basically that becomes unaffordable. And then if the technician does his job, which is more money, and then if he can't source any spare parts, well, you've just wasted all this money on nothing. So you're forced to upgrade, or should I say replace. It's not actually called upgrading. Upgrading is the wrong term. It's called replacement. I had, up until recently, a C2353. And I had to upgrade. I had to replace it with this because the spare parts were no longer available. And it broke down. So I'm really pissed off with Konica Minolta for this fucking asshole attitude of making money off people. If I don't want to spend that much money on a new device. I would have been happy just to keep the old 353, but it wasn't serviceable. So I lost my service agreement because of the lack of spare parts available from the manufacturer, Konica Minolta. Now we're going to take out the black. We're going to have a bit of fun here because there's so much black on this page. Let's see if we can make this an interesting demo without the black. We've stripped the black, so there should be virtually or pretty close to it no black on this photocopy. There should be no black. It should be the closest thing to having no black, and it's an interesting result. So here we have it. It's a bit of a washed out result, but I actually think it's quite nice compared with having the black. You can see the colours more. So yeah, I think we'll call that one quits. Gotta go.